What's up, guys? Alright, so you might have seen a video I did last week on my Steel Eagle 107D. You know, that is an absolutely phenomenal blade, you know, and like all Tops knives, just top quality. The blade itself, though, did seem like it was more suited to a full military or combat application. I felt like there was some things about that blade that didn't really cater to my exact needs. So, you know, I needed to look for something else. When it came to what I was looking for, you all know I absolutely love my SE6. That knife performs amazing. Everything I've ever tried with that knife has worked out great. It is a phenomenal blade, but I was always looking for another blade, something with that, you know, big, thick, 1/4-inch steel. I always loved on my friend's SE5. So, you know, I wanted something that was going to be similar in function to the SE6, but with the 1/4-inch thickness, as well as maybe a few differences in form, you know, a few extra features that might set it apart from the SE6. So, you know, after quite a bit of deliberation and quite a bit of, you know, searching around on the Tops website, the knife I ended up selecting is the one you see right here, which is the Surv-Tac 7. You know, this knife has the features that I feel will really suit my needs perfectly, so, you know, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you what comes in the package when you buy this knife. You know, then we'll take a look, an in-depth look at the sheath. It does have some differences from the Steel Eagle, so I felt it was important to go over that. And then after that, we'll go ahead and jump right into the main course, which of course is the blade itself. So sit back, relax, and you know, I'll go grab the extras here, and we'll get right into it. Alright, guys, so when you buy the Surv-Tac 7, like most Tops knives, at least the ones I've seen, it comes in a fairly sturdy plastic bag. The tag here has the part number and, you know, the model number of the knife you're buying. Here, you have a certificate of authenticity. It's pretty cool. Tops knives come with this. Has a the model number, and then it lists your specific serial number for reference later if you need to warranty the knife for any reason. And then at the bottom, the difference between this certificate and the one that I saw on the Steel Eagle was this one just says buy Tops knives, and it has Tops knives printed, you know, on the bottom. The other certificate actually was hand signed by the owner of Tops Knives, Mike Fuller, so I thought that was a little bit more authentic. I wasn't sure what to make of this, but I did call Tops to ask them about this, and they did say that this is a legitimate certificate. They've changed from the hand signature to this printed, you know, bottom here, so that's fine, whatever. Make sure you hold on to this certificate, like I said, for warranty issues. On the back of the certificate, it gives you some information about the knife, the blade steel, how to take care of it, you know, good angles for sharpening different types of knives, and then, you know, the recommended uses and things to avoid when you are using this knife in the field. So anyway, a little bit of handy information on the back of the certificate there. In terms of the main course here, you get the blade, of course. You get a pretty nice sheath, which I'll go into in more detail in just a second. On the side here, you get a magnesium rod setup with a striker. So a little fire source here that fits into a little sleeve. And then on this side, you get a 6-inch snap light, which is 12-hour. I've seen them in a few different colors. This one happened to be yellow. You know, these things can be handy, you know, if you're lost at night for, you know, signaling or whatnot, or for seeing. It lasts 12 hours, so it would take you through a whole night of, you know, being stuck outside somewhere. Anyway, inside the pocket here, another addition that comes with this version is this Lansky sharpener. You know, it's a pretty handy little item to have with the blade. Always want to be able to, you know, tune up the blade if it gets dull or dinged or whatnot. And this thing gives you the ability to do it pretty easily. And then it is specifically made for the Tops Knives, has the Tops Knives website on the top there. And then last but not least, like all Tops Knives, it comes with one of these handy little whistles. You know, being lost out in the forest, you definitely will run yourself dry quick if you're trying to scream for hours and hours for help or yell. One of these whistles makes quite a loud noise, and it'll definitely carry over distance with very little effort. So definitely a handy little item to have should you ever get stuck outside somewhere. So anyway, it's cool that it includes that. So give me 1 second. I'll put this all back together, and we can take a better look at the sheath. And then after that, we can jump right into, you know, the real deal and take a look at the knife itself. So I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec. Alright, so here's the sheath that comes with the knife. I will say a lot of people on YouTube and whatnot have kind of given this sheath a bad rap, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I really think this sheath is alright. It's not the best in the world, but you know, I mean, there's Kydex sheath and other ones that I think are a little bit more pro level, but in terms of an all-around sheath that can be used for a lot of things, I don't think this one's too terrible at all. Anyway, it's made out of ballistic nylon, and you know, while I can't tell you the exact you know, denier or whatnot, it doesn't feel too shabby. Like I said, it's not pro grade, but it's also not you know, the worst kind of stuff out there. It does have an insert which runs through this whole section, which houses the main blade itself. And it's definitely, while it's not Kydex, it's a thick plastic. It definitely does feel good quality. It's not directional, so the knife can fit into that both for left and right-handed carry. Up here, it's got little retention straps for the handle of the knife. One's about 3/4 inch thick, and the other one's about 1.5 inches. And like, you know, again, with the Velcro, it's not the pro military grade Velcro, but it's not the worst either. It does have these little non-Velcro sections here for grabbing onto it. If you're wearing gloves or something, the Velcro is not going to grip onto your gloves or your gear. Anyway, as far as, you know, the differences between the one for the Steel Eagle and this one, being that this blade I think is marketed a little bit more towards the survival side, it comes with a couple extra little things which I'll show you here. First of all, to hold the snap light, it's got these 2 elastic pieces here, 2 elastic loops. They do a good job of holding a snap light, but if you wanted to include something else, change it up. You know, a snap light's good for one use, but you constantly have to replenish it. If you wanted something that could be maybe used multiple times or more often, maybe you might want to throw something like one of those Streamlight pen lights or whatever in here, some kind of pen light or something like that. You could store a couple extra batteries in the pouch or whatnot. On this side, this is also elastic, and this is where the fire starter, or the flint and magnesium rod goes. I would say again, with this side, you could use the magnesium rod till it runs out, but then if you wanted to trade that out for something like either a waterproof container where you could keep waterproof matches, or even just a Bic lighter, it would definitely have enough hold to keep a Bic lighter nice and tight in there, though it would be difficult to lash it down, but still I think it would hold it pretty tight. So it's nice to have that on the side. You got those two items. Here for the pocket, there's a slight difference in the pocket. First of all, the pocket is retained, held open and closed. This lid here, you got a Fastex-like buckle here, and then you've got a Velcro strap here that can be adjusted. So if you're running something important in there and need to tighten it down, you can definitely do that. If you want to loosen it up for something tall, like a larger flashlight or a big knife, you know, an extra folder or something like that, you could loosen it up and extend so the lid could ride higher. Inside, on the original, on the Steel Eagle pouch, it just used this little piece of elastic here for retention of the pocket. On this one, they actually used like a larger, more heavy-duty elastic on this whole bottom section, and it's stitched at the bottom here. So it creates an extra pocket, which is stretchy here, and then you still have the retention on the face of the pocket here. This pocket probably won't stretch to the same size as the one that does not have this elastic, but it's still a fairly large pocket. Definitely big enough to hold the sharpener. You could probably, you know, like I said before, throw a couple Bic lighters in there. You know, a little maybe homemade survival kit with some extra little items you might think for your specific needs, whatnot. Anyway, it gives you the ability to run a few extra items and kind of tailor it to your needs. As far as mounting it, it has a couple different ways. First of all, you see this long strap here with these extra rows of webbing. This can be used to fasten it, you know, weave this strap through molly gear, and then it snaps on the bottom. So if you have a long column of molly gear like on the side of a pack like this or something, you can definitely mount this up. One thing I will critique a little bit on this is, you know, I'm a little surprised that Tops didn't go with the standard spacing like regular molly gear, which is, you know, every other inch is either a strap or not a strap. On this one, they're kind of oddly spaced, so it doesn't completely match up to molly like you can see here, you know, strap, non-strap, they're all the same width. On this one, they're all different widths, and so you can see they start to not line up after a while. So you kind of have to select which couple straps you want to run through your straps, and then kind of only do it through a few. You know, it's whatever. It's not a huge deal, but a little attention to detail would have gone a long way with that. I was thinking maybe the reason they didn't do that is because this knife isn't as tailored to military as it is to kind of a, like I said, a slightly more survival oriented. Maybe molly wasn't the primary concern, whatever. But, you know, something they could have done to make it just a little better. That being said, it still works fine. Another way you can mount this is through this large belt loop section. This will definitely accommodate a 2-inch belt and probably 2.5-inch belt. Pretty large section here. And then it has these holes here where you can run, you know, a 550 cord around your leg or something to fasten it at the bottom and keep it a little bit more secure. So anyway, that's what's up with the sheath. All in all, I think it's a pretty nice sheath for, you know, for an awesome knife, and definitely adequate to, you know, keep the knife protected and keep it secure, and, you know, keep it where you want it, right on your person. So anyway, that's about it. Give me one more second and we'll jump right into the blade itself. Alright, so here we go, guys. This here is the Surv-Tac 7. This is a knife by Joe Teti, and you know, he's a fairly well-known military vet and survivalist. I will say I'm not generally the type of person who just goes for some kind of endorsement and automatically assumes the product is great. I definitely am more of a hands-on guy, and I want to, you know, take it out, put it to use, to let you know how it is. Obviously, being that this knife is brand new, I haven't had a chance to get it out in the field, but after handling the Steel Eagle and seeing some of its, you know, slight downfalls, the characteristics of this knife definitely made me feel like it was going to be a lot better suited for the kind of uses that I wanted it for. So anyway, let's get right into taking a look at it. First of all, in terms of the blade length here is 7 inches, and then you've got about an inch of, you know, guard or hilt section here, and then about 6 inches here. The overall length of this knife is 14 inches long. The blade steel on this is 1095 carbon steel, so it is not stainless. It definitely does require some special care. You're going to need to throw a dry rub on it, something that's going to protect the exposed steel. The coating here, it's got this nice black traction coating. I'll try to give you some, you know, close-ups if my camera focus allows. It has a fairly, what seems to be a fairly durable black traction coating. It has a modified Tonto tip. You know, when I first saw this knife, I thought that this was just kind of more like a, you know, a sword with an even, you know, edge on both sides, but it actually does have a little bit of a shape to it. It kind of is a little bit longer or comes a little further back on this side, but then it does have this extra sharp tip. When you're using this knife to dig in and make little cuts or trenches in wood, you can, you know, being that both ends of this are sharp, you can stick it in and press it along. I'll definitely you know, be putting together a video to show this knife in action as soon as I, you know, get an opportunity to get out in the woods and to a good place to do it. But for now, that's a use that I've seen on other YouTube videos. On the back here, you have the Tops, the normal cut, you know, cross cut saw back. And then up here you can see there is a notch for cutting wire or severing, you know, wire. Here you've got a nice flat edge that's not cut as the saw. So if you need to baton, you can, you know, you have the ability to hit it in this section. So you're not going to just mangle up your baton on either the blade here or on the sharpened saw teeth here. Pretty nice that they have that little section there, because batoning is one, you know, important aspect of a knife in the field, a fixed blade like this. Anyway, as we move on down, you've got a lot of these holes in the knife here. You've got this lanyard hole here, these 2 elongated slots here, and then one at the back. So it gives you a lot of ability to lash this knife up if you need to, you know, make a spear or something. You can definitely do that, no problem. Some 550 cord and whatnot. The back, okay, first of all, up here, one of my complaints about the Steel Eagle was that the hilt section or the guard section was very low profile. And I kind of did feel like in a situation where you were, you know, under stress or sweating, bleeding, you don't know what's going to happen, you know, out in the great outdoors. There's always the possibility that you might have lose your grip or have a loose grip and have your hand come over the top of the handle. With this knife, they give you very nice guard size on both, you know, almost as tall as your hand on both sides. So no matter if you're using it, you know, using it for the blade or using it for the saw, you've got plenty of guard here to protect your hand from sliding forward. On the back here, you have some thickened portions here that you could use for hammering. You could hammer tent stakes with this, or just hammer anything with it. And then here you've got an angled, and it's evenly angled from the front and back, kind of a pry bar or chisel that you could use for any kind of prying, or any kind of, you know, if you needed a flat edge for screwing a screw or something like that, this would do that. If you look at it from the spine here, you can see it's full tang construction. The thickness of the metal throughout the whole thing from about here all the way to the back is 1/4 inch. So just awesome, you know, Titan steel, just, you know, sick thickness for durability. The full tang construction all across, like I said. Here you've got black linen micarta handles. You can see they're absorbing some of the moisture from my hands, but that's actually one of the main points of micarta, is the ability to absorb moisture and still keep a nice tacky grip, so you're not going to lose grip if you're not using gloves or something like that. Anyway, it's funny, but the moisture evaporates almost instantly when you're not touching it. You can see right before your very eyes, it disappears. Very nice handles. They are removable via these hex head screws along here on both sides. They've got nice spacers here to absorb a little of the shock, and when you're using this knife, you know, chopping or batoning, whatnot. So that's always nice. To discuss the benefits of this, or why I decided to choose this one to replace the Steel Eagle, one comment I made had to do with the handguard, and I showed you that. Another thing was the shape of the handle on the Steel Eagle was kind of directional, and made it awkward to, first of all, it made it feel like your hand was going to fall over the top of the handles, and second of all, it made it so that when you were using the knife, it was great, but when you were using the saw, it was awkward. This one is the same, symmetrical on both sides from the center, so no matter if you're using it for the blade side or using it for the saw side, you get the exact same grip. Also, the finger choil on the Steel Eagle, which made it an awkward feel in the hand, gone on this knife, no choil, so no issue there. This knife is extremely comfortable holding it both up here and back here. Also, it does have a section to put a finger if you wanted to choke up on it. You could go over the top, but honestly, holding it like this feels very comfortable, and I could still easily shave, you know, small filings or whatever I needed to do, you know, fine work with this knife. But if you want to choke up, there is a section here where you can put your finger. So that's about it. I just felt like this knife would be a little better, more usable for me, the way I wanted to put it to use. You know, get out in the woods, do some batoning, do some hardcore chopping, do some notching and sawing with this thing, you know, maybe a little hammering, whatnot. So definitely, you know, felt this would serve my use as well. As I said before, I will be out in the field with this thing as soon as I can, and I will, you know, put it through some hard use and show you guys what it can do. And also, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to also take out the SE6 and do a head-to-head comparison of this knife versus the SE6 at some of the, you know, main uses for a survival knife. So definitely stay tuned for those videos in the future. You know, like always, if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. Definitely don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed this information, and you know, share and subscribe if you're not subbed up, and you know, stay tuned for new stuff coming soon. Till next time, you guys take it easy.